All right, so the first step in making your socks from your sock tubes is going to be to create the cuff. So this is a sock tube that I have that is a full half of a tube, and that's because I've already completed a full pair of socks. So in order to do this, what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick up stitches on one end for your cuff. So I'm gonna show you how to do that now. For this, you're gonna need needles, whatever method you prefer, either two 24-inch or 16-inch size 1 needles or a magic loop needle. I'm gonna use two 24-inch for today. So you can see I've already done one cuff on this side. Oh, and also you're gonna need your contrasting color. So you can see I've already done one cuff on this side, so now I'm gonna work on the other side. So in order to do this, what you're gonna do is look at the top row, keeping it nice and flat, fold it in half the way the tube comes. You're gonna work up at the very top. I'm gonna skip. You can see how this row is incomplete here at the very top. So I'm gonna skip down to maybe 2 rows below the contrast color that it comes in. And you're gonna pick up every right leg of a stitch in the row. Do you see that? So remember that my row was uneven. So in other words, it ended halfway through this section. So I'm gonna have one whole row of my main color above the needle here, but then over here I'm gonna have 2 rows, and that's correct. So you just wanna be aware, make sure you're going in the same row all the way down. And you're just getting the right leg all the way down. And you want to have, this is a 32 round, 32 stitch tube. So you want to make sure you have 32 stitches. If you do, then you're going to flip it over and do the other side. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. Okay, so once I'm doing mine on 2 24-inch circs, so I'm gonna pull it around like that, and I'm gonna turn it around and do the same thing for the other side. So if I know I ended on this section here, let's see, is that better? Yeah, if I ended on this stitch here, I need to go to the stitch right next to it and go from there across. probably hear my dog. So once you have them all picked up on both needles, you pull them through, and you can see they're both like that. Now all you have to do is snip here and pull back. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera for a second. All right, so because all of this blue here that she's used for the contrast is like not necessary, we're just going to cut it. So you could painstakingly unravel it all, but like, who cares, right? All of your needles, all your stitches are held securely on the needle. So none of this matters, right? So you're just gonna, be brave and pull out your knitting and unravel all that blue or whatever color yours is. Of course, the dog chews to eat right now. And you can see all of your knit stitches are securely safe. And all you have to do is unravel them. Of course, I made a little bit of a mess, but you've gone from not being on the needles at all to all of your stitches being secure and safe on your two needles, and you're ready to do a cuff. All right, so now that you have all of your stitches on your needles, you're ready to add your contrasting color, and you're going to do that just the same way you would if you were changing colors for a toe up sock. So you're just going to go ahead and grab your new color and work whatever kind of ribbing you want. I'm going to do a knit 2 purl 2 rib, and you're going to do all the way across in your contrasting color. Oh, it's so hard to watch yourself knit in a camera. So of course you don't need to watch me do this. So you're going to keep doing that until you reach your desired length. Why don't you work on that, and then I will show you how I bind off once I get my cuff ready. Okay, so I'm back. I finished the ribbing for my cuff, and I wanted to show you the bind off that I have been doing. It's a really stretchy bind off. It is not the Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. It's another one that I've been doing, and to be honest, I can't remember where I saw it, but it's one that doesn't have a flare. So it's really stretchy, but it doesn't flare out, and I've been really enjoying it. So to work this bind off, I'll show you a little bit. to work this bind off, you are going to make sure I have it right in there. Okay, so you're going to knit the first stitch as normal, and then you're going to yarn over, knit the next stitch. I should say that this works really good in a knit 2 purl 2 ribbing, but you could also do it in knit 1 purl 1. So once you have the knit stitch, the yarn over, and the knit stitch, you are going to slip the first 2 stitches of course it's like giving me tricky over the the third stitch. There we go. And then you're gonna bring your yarn in front to purl the next stitch. Then you're going to do a yarn over. Oops, sorry, I lied. After you purl that first of the purl stitches, sorry, you're going to cast it off. So now your yarn is in the front. You're going to do a yarn over and then another purl stitch, and then you're going to cross these 2 over that and cast them off. So essentially every other stitch you're going to do a yarn over. So I just did a knit stitch, and now I'm going to do a yarn over and a knit stitch. So I'll bind those off. So I'll do a purl stitch, slip it over, then I'll do a yarn over and a purl stitch, and slip those both over. And you're going to keep going in this manner, knit stitch, yarn over, and a knit stitch, I'll keep going. I'll do one more of each. Purl, cast off, yarn over, purl, cast them both off, knit stitch, cast it off, yarn over, knit stitch, do them both. So you're going to keep doing that all the way around, and then when you're done, you'll end up with this perfectly stretchy bind off.